Welcome to the Pre-Snap Podcast presented by LineStar, your top NFL player prop bets for Monday Night Football Week 13. Alongside my co-host, Tyler Wiemann, I'm Shannon Sommerville. Tyler, nice to be back after a Thanksgiving weekend. How was your festivities before we get into the prop bets of the day?
It was good. It was a really good weekend. My daughter absolutely loved the weekend, so that's always fun.
Was she shredding it up on the slopes or what?
We ended up not going, but she had a ton of fun. We did the whole Christmas tree thing on Friday and decorated and all that, and she's super excited. She just wants to play in the room that we have our Christmas tree now, like right next to it.
Awesome. Gotta love the holiday spirit in full force. Nice.
So it's been fun, and this is like the first year that she's super into it, you know. So
yeah.
It's been fun.
I checked also the Christmas tree off the list this week, as I did I made the turkey. I had solicited some feedback from our commenters a couple weeks ago about how to make a proper turkey, if you guys had any tips. And it was successful. It was edible. I mean, for me, I don't love turkey, so I'm like, whatever, it's fine. But you know what? At the end of the day, the fire department didn't get called. We had an edible meal. It was great. You know, it tastes better the more beverages you consume. So we got through Thanksgiving, and now it is time to get ready for the holiday season. So let's go out, win some prop bets so we can afford all the holiday shopping we've got ahead of us here as we get into the holiday season. But it was a wild week of games. We had a lot of people that forgot how to coach football within the last, couple minutes of the game. Kickers missing kicks. I can't even talk because it's just so blasphemous how many kickers I've seen just miss kicks over the weekend. I think that's kind of been a theme over the year, though. But what was your take on all the NFL action we saw?
I liked that the Bucks were able to get like 2 plays off in like 7 seconds, but yet the Bears couldn't get 1 in 30.
That was brutal. A brutal Thanksgiving week of coaching decisions, which eventually led to the firing of Matt Eberflus there in Chicago. But for tonight's game, an interesting one. We've got the Denver Broncos hosting the Cleveland Browns. Now, the Denver Broncos are very much in the mix for the playoffs, and the Cleveland Browns would love nothing more than to ruin those chances. But they have a chance to. 0.2% of making it in right now. But for tonight's matchup, it is the Denver Broncos who are the team to beat. They are the favorites. It was 5.5 points, but now even more money coming in for them. 6.5 point favorites now. So overall, any impressions of this matchup for tonight?
I mean, not really. I think it's going to be an interesting game for sure, but I don't have any strong feelings about it one way or another right now as far as who's going to win or, over, under, all that.
Yeah. I mean, it's been great to see the development of Bo Nix becoming just awesome. Broncos 7-5 with a chance to make the wild card, 2 straight wins over the Falcons and the Raiders, and then the Browns 3-8, 0.2% chance to make the playoffs. But since week 9, just a little bit about Bo Nix and the season he's having. He's earned an 83.5 PFF passing grade, and this is a stat from PFF, the 3rd highest in the NFL, while leading the league with an 84.7% adjusted completion percentage. He threw 8 touchdown passes during that span, the most of any quarterback without an interception. Kid's having a year. Also, the Denver defense is helping him out as well, ranking 2nd in EPA allowed per play and top 5 in scoring drive percentage allowed. So Denver is doing some things over there. So can they hold it down tonight against the Browns? That's the question. We'll get to our injury report, then our prop bets, and last we'll finish it off with some touchdown calls and then tell you which way we're playing this one in terms of those sides. All right, the injury report for tonight. Let's check out Denver. Actually, probably one of the healthiest teams I've seen at this point in the season. Just cornerback Riley Moss was a DMP, and then wide receiver Josh Reynolds questionable. But on Cleveland's side, they're a little bit banged up. Cornerback Miles Harden is still on the IR, so they did not activate him with a tibia injury. Defensive end Sam Kamara, head injury. Wide receiver Cedric Tillman out with a concussion, and safety Juan Thornhill out with a calf, as is offensive lineman Jedrick Willis out with a knee injury in this one. All right, that leads us into our prop bets. But before we get into it, make sure to do us a huge favor. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and then comment below because it does enter you in to our prop bets contest. So if we go 3-0 in our picks, one randomly selected commenter will win $50. Unfortunately, on last Monday's show. We were just 1-1 on our picks, but we did get rescued. So we did put our entry on Underdog, so we got rescued from them because one of our picks was J.K. Dobbins over on rushing yards, and he, of course, exited the game very early on with an injury, so we got saved on that one. So hopefully this week we can rebound. We're going to go to our first pick here from the LineStar PropsAI tool. Check it out for yourself at LineStarApp.com. But LineStar's pick of the night is going to be Courtland Sutton over 61.5 receiving yards. LineStar's projection for Sutton, 67.6. The consensus, 63.2. He's been over this, Tyler, each of the last 5 games, and he's been averaging 93 receiving yards per game in that span. He's just been phenomenal, and the chemistry that him and Bo Nix now have established is great to see. And it's going to be awesome going up against a Cleveland defense that ranks 28th in pass defense DVOA versus wide receiver ones. And since week 9, the Browns coverage grade sits at just 55.4. That ranks in the bottom third of the league. They just haven't been able to prevent big plays. That's been an issue. And Bo Nix and Courtland Sutton can deliver those big plays. What do you think about this line for Sutton's receiving yards?
I mean, he's been too good not to just keep hammering this one.
Right.
It's obviously Bo Nix likes him. He's averaging 9.3 targets a game over the last 4. And then if you go to the last 5, that even comes up because he had 11 targets 5 weeks ago. So love this spot for him. And then on the other side, Cleveland's ranked 25th, allowing 162.4 receiving yards to the wide receiver over the last 9 games. So it's a good spot for him. Receivers are doing well, and Sutton is going to get a majority of those 162.4 yards.
And some credit has to go to Sean Payton here, too, with allowing the chemistry to kind of develop between the two of them pretty organically. And now I think we're starting to see them throw a bit more wrinkles into it. And but I think they kept it pretty basic. And I guess a lot of the keys to their success has been they just talked about how much repetition they've gone through in practice. And that's certainly translating on the field. So why not keep going back here to Courtland Sutton over on 61.5 receiving yards. All right, now it's time for Tyler and I to give our best bets for tonight on Underdog. So Tyler, who are you rolling with in prop bets for tonight?
I'm going to go with Jeudy over 4.5 receptions. LineStar's projections 5.4. He's been over in 4 straight. There's no Cedric Tillman tonight, which just tightens that target tree a little bit. He's averaging 9 targets a game with Winston. And then Denver, 28th versus the wide receiver 1 on our team defense tool over the last 5. If you want to take that out to last 10, they're 15th. So they've been around average to that wide receiver 1 spot. And I like the spot for him. Jacoby Myers just had 10 receptions. Flowers went nuts. You know, everybody over the last 5 games versus them has had at least 4 receptions for that wide receiver 1 spot. So I like the spot for Jeudy when he is going to be the target tonight.
Yeah, and in a game script, if the spread is any indication, and if they get out behind, it obviously calls for some more passing from Jameis Winston to start airing it out a bit to play catch up a little bit if that is in fact how the game script goes. So like that spot there for Jerry Jeudy, especially given the injury to Cedric Tillman. Somebody's going to be the beneficiary of some of those extra targets. And I like the spot there for that you specifically are using that receptions line at 4.5, like that play there. All right, for my pick, I'm going to the Browns running back Nick Chubb, but we're fading him a little bit here, under 58.5 rush yards. Now, I will say that I am going against the projections here, so take that into account, but Nick Chubb's only averaging 44 rush yards per game, and he's only gone over that 58.5 mark once, and it was last week. He just put up 59 rush yards against Pittsburgh with a season-high 20 carries. He'll be going up against a Denver Broncos rush defense that is top 5. They are 4th in rush defense DVOA. Just 2 weeks ago, they held Bijan Robinson to just 35 rush yards, Kareem Hunt to 35 rushing yards. And when you look at Cleveland and that run game that they thought would be super explosive, it just hasn't come to fruition for them. Cleveland ranks dead last in explosive run percentage since week 7. So they've really failed to reignite that rushing attack that they thought would come back with Nick Chubb. But I mean, it's not even Nick Chubb's coming off a huge surgery on his knee, so he's kind of just easing back into things. What we usually see with those big ACL repairs is usually it's the next season they kind of get that explosiveness back. I don't think it's back quite yet for Nick Chubb, even though I love Nick Chubb. He's a Georgia Bulldog. There you go. 1 count for the Georgia Bulldogs. I haven't even talked about that game on Saturday night, Tyler. I don't know if you saw that one. Speaking of Georgia Bulldogs, 8 overtimes.
Yeah, pretty wild.
Georgia Tech. That was one of the wildest things. Nonetheless, I still have to fade Nick Chubb, even though love him, but this is not the spot for him tonight against a really tough Denver Broncos team. So another one that I will throw out there. So our top 3 that we are going to roll with on our entry that is for our contest, we're going to go with Courtland Sutton over 61.5 receiving yards, Jeudy over 4.5 receptions, and then Nick Chubb under 58.5 rush yards. So again, those are available Prize Picks, Sleeper, Chalkboard, ParlayPlay, Underdog. If you don't have those, download them, use the promo code LineStar, and you'll get up to, it depends on the site, but $100 deposit match, plus you'll also get 1 free month of the LineStar app there. So the links and the deals are listed below in the comments, so make sure to check those out. But one more that I did want to throw at you guys, worth mentioning, Bo Nix over on rushing yards, 20.5 is the line. LineStar's projection is 24.5, and he's averaging about 25 rush yards per game. Cleveland is 24th in their rush defense, allowing 24.5 rush yards per game to the quarterback position. But what I like about what could transpire tonight is that I think that the Browns might come at him a lot. They're going to send a lot. They blitz at the 5th highest rate in the NFL. So I think what could happen there is they send a lot of guys and he ends up having to kind of scramble a little bit, maybe some runs. Maybe they even have a bunch of design runs for him tonight. But he's got some wiggle, so I don't mind Bo Nix rushing yards either. Any thoughts on that one, Tyler?
Yeah, I like that spot for Bo Nix.
Yeah. All right, so those are our picks for tonight. Remember, check out that PropsAI tool. That's what we're showing in all these graphics. It's a great tool that'll help you find the best value in the prop market by comparing LineStar's projections to what's out there in the prop market. So it's a really great tool. Check it out for yourself at LineStarApp.com. Now let's get to our touchdown calls of the game. Tyler, where are you headed for an anytime touchdown in this Monday night contest at Mile High Stadium?
I'm going back to Jeudy plus 195 for a touchdown. Only David Njoku has more red zone targets than Jeudy over the last 8 weeks. And at plus 195 for the number 1 WR, it's just great value. Denver's 28th versus wide receiver over the last 5 games. Over that span, they've allowed 3 touchdowns to the wide receiver one. So let's go plus 195 for one of those TDs.
All right, for my touchdown call, I'm going to the pick that I liked for a prop bet, and that's Courtland Sutton. Not only are we going over on his receiving yards, but I also like him for an anytime touchdown tonight at plus 140. Sutton has 5 touchdowns on the year, but 3 in the past 3 weeks. 10 targets over the last 8 weeks. That's the most of any pass catcher in this game. Cleveland is 25th in opponent red zone scoring, and they are also 24th in pass defense DVOA. I definitely think we could see some big plays from Sutton tonight. The chemistry is developing with Bo Nix is pretty awesome to see unfold. He's also an excellent route runner that can pretty much get open in any kind of coverage. So I think Bo Nix finds him in the end zone tonight for a touchdown, and I like a little plus money on that too. Plus 140 is nice as well. So we're going Courtland Sutton for an anytime touchdown, and Tyler's rolling with Jeudy for our touchdown calls. Remember, sometimes we talk about targets in the end zone, and we have a tool on the LineStar app too that is a red zone tool. So you can kind of see who's been targeted the most, maybe who's been getting a little bit unlucky. So it's a great tool to check out for yourself at LineStarApp.com. Now let's take a look at this overall game, and if we're playing it one way or the other, Cleveland at Denver, 6.5 point favorites. Tyler, how are you playing this one?
I mean, I'm not going to be betting sides or anything like that, but Denver's been playing very well. Cleveland, however, does have some very, very key wins lately. I mean, they beat Pittsburgh, they beat Baltimore. So they've been playing their in-division games very tough, but then got blown out by the Chargers, got blown out by the Saints. So with that, it is outside of the division. I kind of lead Denver at home. Sean Payton has them playing really well right now.
Yeah, I like Denver as well. The only thing that concerns me is Myles Garrett being on the other side of that against a rookie quarterback. But Bo Nix has been, I think he's done a really good job. And as as I mentioned at the top of the show, his numbers have been improving. But more than anything, I really just like Denver's defense in general, going up against this Browns offense that hasn't shown a ton of explosiveness at all, specifically in the run game, which is what we thought this Browns team would be predicated on. So for that reason, I've got to go Denver Broncos in this one. I trust them at home, trust their coaching. So I think I got to go, go with the favorites. I hate it, but, I've been taking a lot of favorites this week, but got to do it sometimes, especially in this matchup. I feel like the Browns have been too inconsistent for me to be able to back them on the road like this. And no weather concerns here, really, from what I read last.
No, it's
just
cool, but
temps in the 40s.
yeah.
That's our look at Monday night's game between the Browns and the Broncos. Remember to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and comment below because it helps us out in the good old YouTube algorithm so we can keep growing our audience, but it also helps you out. So hopefully we can go 3-0 and give out $50, which we will announce on next Monday night's show, along with a nice money gun celebration. So hopefully we can go 3-0 finally. Good luck in all of your prop betting endeavors for tonight. We'll see you guys next time.